In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in an absence of space.
Hello, and welcome back to I Will Break Your Game, featuring the Talos Principle. We're approaching the end of World B now. This is our second to last level, and there are only 3 puzzles to break here, but they're all fairly difficult ones. We're going to begin here by taking a jammer over to this statue and putting it somewhere in the corner. Now, if you place the jammer just right, you should actually be able to pull off a double jump that allows you to get on top of the statue. Once you manage that, turn around and make sure you grab the jammer. It's going to come important in a short while. And then we can get on top of the walls and head over to the first sigil. There are a couple of things that will try and knock you off here, so be careful of that intersecting wall and the fence. The sigil chamber is guarded by 3 turrets. With all 3 active, I could never manage to grab the sigil before being shot to death. If you take the jammer with you though and jam this turret, I could usually just about grab the sigil before I died. As far as I know though, it's impossible to escape using this method without dying. So this time around we're going to do the same thing, but this time we want to bring both jammers with us. The end goal is to get both jammers out of this puzzle in order to break the next one. When you reach this corridor of mines, you want to jam the one furthest from you and wait for the one closest to you to go past, so you can come and collect the jammer. It doesn't matter whether that's the mine on the left or the right. You should have enough time to get back round to this statue without being targeted by a mine. Now we're going to do the same thing a second time. This can take a while to get right. I've got quite a few cut attempts from the video at trying to double jump onto this statue. Once you manage it, you're going to bring both jammers with you on top of the wall. This level, B6, is one of the other ones that I talked about where, on my first attempt at this run, I just really couldn't manage to break the puzzles. After a fair few hours at trying to break these 3 puzzles, I only managed to complete one of them. The problem with breaking B6 is that the puzzles are all really minimal. There are no boxes in any of them, and they're all surrounded by quite high walls. Really, you only have jammers and splitters to work with on this whole level. The architectural break I've just shown you, I never found the first time round. This time I got it just through a long time of trial and error, and it really is the key to breaking this level, so I'm glad I found it. This architectural break also allows you to break the only puzzle I managed on my first attempt. But I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to go back and show you how I did it originally because it's a solution I'm really quite pleased with. So the reason I've brought this jammer with me is that we're going to come outside of this level and jam fizzlers from the outside. There are 2 fizzlers between the entrance to that puzzle and the sigil, and since we've managed to get 2 jammers out of the previous puzzle, we can jam both of those fizzlers. This allows us to get back inside of the map and just to walk straight from the entrance all the way to the sigil. Getting ourselves back into the map after doing this break is trickier than it sounds. On most of the other levels, when we manage to get on top of walls or out of bounds, it's much easier getting back into the level than it was getting out. But that's not the case this time round. The second fizzler we need to jam is over on the right hand side there, and now we have the issue of getting back in the map. The first time I attempted this, I actually jumped from where I've just put the jammers back down to try and get directly into that puzzle, but the jump was falling just a little bit short. I couldn't quite get it. The second one I tried was from the ruins I'm heading towards just now. If you can see on the right hand side there, I tried to jump from there over that wall. Again, the jump was falling just slightly short. It might be possible, but if it is, it's a pixel perfect jump that you need to produce. The way I have managed to do it is on these ruins. This jump is difficult. You need to make quite a lot of distance, so jump as late as you can, but at least I do know it's possible. When we land on the wall, and be careful not to overshoot because we'll be trapped in a level, but when we're on the wall here, you can go and grab the sigil from this puzzle quite easily, but we're not going to do that. If for no other reason than I feel like my first solution would go to waste. And I spent quite a lot of time on that. So we're going to come through and grab this sigil here. Now we can head through 2 fizzlers that are being jammed. There's the first one, and there's one on our right, although I forgot where it was for a second here. And if you look off in the distance, you can actually see our jammers helping us get to this sigil. Now we're going to stick around in this puzzle for a while. The idea is to get a laser from this puzzle all the way through into the other puzzle, the last one that we need to break. The angles involved where we're redirecting the laser are really quite precise, so if you're using this as a guide, try and replicate where I put my splitters as closely as possible. We need to be able to see the purple fizzler over at the end of the puzzle there, with this splitter. Specifically, you want to be able to see the left-hand side of that purple fizzler. Next, we're going to grab another splitter, and we're going to head to the purple fizzler, and we're going to place it as far to the front and the left of that fizzler as we possibly can, so that it's visible from the purple fizzler of the next puzzle. Placement of this next splitter is very important. You want it just bunched right up into the left-hand corner of this purple fizzler, as far as it will go. Now we can head into the final puzzle, and using the splitters we can hijack that laser. But first off, we need to grab all 3 fizzlers from this level. So we're going to begin with a normal solution. We're going to open the first fizzler, and with the second splitter, continuing to use the red laser, we can open the next fizzler and grab the third splitter. And now this is where our solution differs. The splitter we've just found we're going to bring all the way back round to the purple fizzler. You're going to place it in the very far right corner, and as you might have guessed, we're going to steal the red laser from the previous puzzle. Again, placement is fairly important here, although not quite as important as the first 2. You can ignore my first placement though, I put that in the wrong place. The next splitter we're going to put right up against the red receiver. And then once the fizzler's been deactivated, we can head through, and with the final splitter we're going to put it on some raised ground so that the blue laser travels directly above the red laser. The placement of the rubble kind of makes me think that this may also have been an intended break, especially when we look at some of the angles of the gaps that we fire the laser through in the previous puzzle. It all just seems a bit too convenient, even though it's not particularly easy. Thank you very much for watching this episode of I Will Break Your Game featuring the Talos Principle. See you next time for the final level in World B.